this video, I'm going to talk about the long question for cell cycle and cell division. Also, but before that, let's go through the four major stages of the nuclear division: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase again. Okay, and also interphase and cytoplasmic division. Be sure that in the long questions, okay, there are different types of long questions, but the main idea is that you need to okay be familiar with the sequence, okay, the order of the nuclear division, and of course also the whole cell cycle. Okay, and the second thing is that you need to know the chromosome behavior, okay, within each phases, okay, of the nuclear division. Or in the prophase, what is the chromosome behavior? In the metaphase, what is the chromosome behavior? Something like that. Okay, so not only the sequence but also the details. Okay, that's something you need to know. You need to be familiar, okay, in this chapter, okay, for the thinking process. Okay, so for chapter for question 9, not chapter, okay, question 9. So in this question, okay, you are going to examine the number of the cells, okay, at each stage of the cell cycle. So in this case, the onion root tip cells, okay, they're squashed and prepared for the microscopic slide. Okay, and what you are going to observe, okay, is the number of cells at the specific stages of the cell cycle: interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Okay, the number. Okay, so at least for this type question, okay, somehow the first step I want you to know, okay, I want you to do is that to calculate the total number of the cells. Okay, it's very important for you to proceed to move on to the part A and part B. Okay, so for the part A, okay, how do the result, okay, suggest that the onion root tip cells spend the longest time in the interphase of the cell cycle. Okay, so imagine that you are observing, you are reading, you are seeing the microscopic slide, okay, and there are so many cells, okay, in the microscopic slide, okay, and then you start counting the cell. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 400 something cells in the interphase, okay, or 6 or 7 or 14 cells, okay, in different phases. Okay, so the point is that how can you know that the cell, okay, spend the longest time in a particular phase, okay, of the cell cycle? Okay, and also the part B describe the event that occurred during the interphase. Okay, 3 marks. Okay, so let's go through part A and B first. For the part A, you need to point out the interphase contains a certain proportion of the onion root tip cells. Okay, and I give you the sample of the answer. The highest or the lowest proportion of cells are at interphase. Okay, of course, it is better for you to give me the number as well, not only the sentence. There is the proportion of cells at interphase. Okay, now make sure that you know what you are going to talk about is the longest time. Okay, so I think you must be able to point out highest or lowest. Okay, so once again, it's better for you to give me the number, okay, from the result from the table. Okay, how many cells? Okay, how many cells? Or what is the proportion? What is the percentage? If you can give me, well, very good. Okay, so for part B, describe the event, okay, occur during the interphase 3 marks. So the point is that interphase is the cell growth phase. Okay, the cell is very active, okay, to grow bigger. Okay, but the point is that what are the activities taking place, okay, in the interphase 3 marks. Okay, and somehow, okay, some activities are to prepare for the cell division. Okay, because interphase is the stage between 2 successive cell division. Okay, so the point is that you can find it out in the textbook. Okay, try to become familiar with the concept. Okay, which every step, every stage in the cell cycle is very unique. It's very significant. Okay, why we need to do this process at this stage, and why do we do that process, okay, at that particular stage. Okay, that's very important concept. Okay, and for part C, that's the calculation part. Given that a complete cell cycle of the onion root tip cells lasts 16 hours, so calculate the relative time the onion root tip cells spend in mitosis. Okay, so we are working 1 plus 1. 1 is the a step, okay, and the other one is for the answer. So one reminder for you, okay, once you need to express the relative time, okay, for maybe for the cell division, this type of question, so make sure that the unit it should be minute. It should be in minute. So in this case, even okay, the question tells you that 16 hours. So please times 60, okay, to make it into minute. Okay, so for example, 5 hours times 60, okay, or 16 hours times 60. Okay, so at least this step, okay, don't miss. Okay, so I give you some example to tell you how to calculate this type of question first, and then you will know, okay, how to do part C. So for the general equation is that number of the cells, okay, at the stage over the total number of the cell. That's why I told you to calculate the total number of the cell first, okay, before you do the question. So the case is that, for example, the number of cell at interface, is 458, okay, and then over the total number of the cell, okay, add up some of them together, okay, and then times 16 hours times 60 minutes, okay, and then you will get 81 minutes, okay, because you can see that there are so many cells, 400 something cells, okay, are at interface, okay. So actually you may see that there should be many cells, okay, spending the time, okay, a longer time, okay, at interface. And for the second part, okay, for second example is that the number of cell at anaphase, okay. So the case is that number of cell at anaphase, 6 cells, okay, and over the total number times 16 and times 60, okay, and then you will get 12 minutes, okay. So go back to the question, okay, part C, number of cell at mitosis, okay. So my question is that mitosis involves what steps, okay? How many stages, okay, in mitosis? Mitosis is the nuclear division. If you really forget it, go back to the second slide and find out how many stages are in mitosis, okay, the nuclear division, okay, and then over the total number of the cell and then times 16 and 60, okay, and then you will get the answer, and that will be the answer for part C, okay. So and then for question 10 is that, okay, it's very good, okay, because actually the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, they are really in the order. Okay, somehow in other question, okay, actually the question will mix up all the cell and then ask you to make up the correct order, okay, for the question. But in this question, okay, it's very good to give you 1 2 3 4 5 and then 6 7, okay. But the point is that it only tells you a certain type of cell division, but it did not tell you what is the type, okay. It may be mitotic cell division and it may be meiotic cell division, and then that will be your first question to ask yourself, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, which type of cell division is it, okay. So perhaps you can see that, divided first time and then I divide second time, okay. So 1 to 2 to 4, okay. So actually for your knowledge, okay, learn from this chapter, okay, 1 to 2 to 4, okay, actually 4 daughter cells will be produced, okay, in this type of cell division. So what will be the type of cell division in this question, okay. So for the part A, stage 2 process occurring in stage 1, okay, which prepare the cell for this type of cell division, okay. So the point is that, what is stage 1, okay, what is stage 1, and then you can tell me the 2 process, okay, for 2 marks. So part A, any special feature, okay, observed in stage A. Okay, so in this part, I can see that this part should be the nucleus. But the point is that, can I see the chromosome clearly? Okay, so is it chromatin or chromosome, okay, in the nucleus? Okay, so that's the very important question for you to determine, okay, what is stage 1. Once you can tell me that, oh, stage 1 is what phase, okay, something like that, oh, what phase, okay, and then you can tell me what is happening in this stage. Okay, the key question is that chromatin or chromosome, okay, you tell me. And then part B, explain the significance of the behavior of the chromosome in stage 3, okay, to the outcome of this type of cell division. So you can see that for part B, okay, explain the outcome of this type of cell division. The first question you need to really considering, okay, is that what is the type of cell division in this question, okay, mitotic or meiotic cell division. Okay, so that's first part. And then for the chromosome behavior, you can see that, okay, oh, for the stage 3, all chromosomes, they are lined up in the middle of the cell. At least you should be able to point it out. It must be metaphase. Okay, all the chromosomes, they line up in the middle of the cells. Metaphase clearly. Okay, but it may be metaphase or metaphase 1 or metaphase 2. Now you tell me, but at least you know that it's metaphase. It's something related to metaphase, right? Okay, so what is the behavior of the chromosome? Okay, and that's the concept, that's the hints. Okay, I want to tell you more. Okay, and actually that will be very useful for you to answer question 10 part B. So there are 3 types of chromosome behavior in stage 3. In your answer, you just pick up one of the chromosome behavior and then explain it's okay. Okay, so I give you 3 types of chromosome behavior in stage 3. Okay, for example, pairing up of homologous chromosome, crossing over between homologous chromosome, independent assortment of homologous chromosome. Okay, so you can pick up either one of them. Okay, one out of 3. Okay, and then tell me how important is this chromosome behavior in meiotic cell division. I give you the biggest hints. Okay, is meiotic cell division, and this 3 process. Okay, that's the very important stage. Okay, or process. Okay, chromosome behavior in meiotic cell division. You need to tell me how important are they. Okay, just pick up one. Oh, pairing up of homologous chromosome. Okay, in stage 3, and this stage is very important, and why? Okay, or crossing over. Okay, you can observe in this stage 3. Okay, and why it is very important. Okay, so one last reminder for this question is that these 3 chromosome behaviors are very important. Okay, in the chapter of basic genetics. Okay, we shall learn it in maybe form 5 summer or form 6. Okay, but at least you know that cell division, this chapter is very important for the further chapter. It's not only for the reproduction chapter, human reproduction, plant reproduction, and then after these 2 chapters you can throw it away, throw the cell cycle, throw the cell division away. No, because in basic genetics you must visit this chapter again. Okay, so that's the question 10. So let's talk about the question 11. So in this question, it's quite straightforward. So it's asking you to suggest why cell division is necessary, important in multicellular organisms. So you can imagine that in this at this time, okay, you are asked to talk about the importance of cell division in multicellular organisms. So next time, okay, it may ask you something about unicellular organism, okay? But in this case, we focus on the multicellular organisms first. So in this case, for human, for dogs, for cats, something like that, okay? So actually, we need to think about the two types of cell division: mitotic cell division and meiotic cell division, okay? So in this case, remember, you just need to mention the importance of cell division in multicellular organism in this question, okay? No need to mention the unicellular organisms, for example, the amoeba or the bacteria, okay? You do not need to mention them, okay? Just mention the multicellular organism, it's okay. So the hint is that why are they the mitotic cell division and meiotic cell division are very important, okay? So the first hint is that the cell division can help us to increasing the number of cells, but you need to tell me for what, how important is it, okay? What is the importance of increasing the number of the cell, or in other words, what is the importance of having or of producing new cells, okay? Making new cells for what, okay? That's the first significance you need to tell me. Of course, you need to do some matching first for increasing the cell, the number of the cell, okay? So for it is done by the mitotic cell division or meiotic cell division, you need to tell me, okay? And the second point is that for the multicellular organism, we do not have one type of cell. We have many types of cells: skin cells, lung cells, liver cell, muscle cell, bone cells, blood cell, okay, something like that. So how is the cell division important for us, okay, to create or to produce different type of cells, okay? So in the lesson, I do not only talk about the cell division, I also talk about the cell differentiation, okay? So how is it so important for us, okay? And of course, the number 3 is that how can the cell division help the multicellular organism to reproduce sexually? Because for the unicellular organism, for the amoeba or the bacteria, okay, they perform asexual reproduction, okay? So actually, that's why I highlight reproduce sexually in this part, okay? Because I would like to remind you to think about what type of cell is required in sexual reproduction, okay? My hint is that sexual reproduction involves fertilization. So if we would like to perform fertilization, which type of cell we need to have, we need to produce, okay? So for the mitotic cell division or meiotic cell division, which type of cell division can fulfill, okay, fulfill our criteria, okay, fulfill the need of producing the special type of the cell to perform fertilization and reproduce sexually, okay? And the point is that once you get that, this type of cell is required in sexual reproduction, so what is the chromosome number of these cells, okay? This type of special cell for fertilization, okay? So also you need to match, mitotic or meiotic cell division is responsible to produce this type of cell, okay? So that is the question 11. Remember that 4 marks, okay? But just don't make it, it must be 2 plus 2, 2 marks for mitotic cell division and then 2 marks for meiotic cell division, okay? It may be 3 plus 1. It may be 3 plus 1, okay? So try your best to answer the significance, okay, to tell me the importance, okay? But don't just give you a box. I must need to think about 2 importance for mitotic cell division and 2 importance for meiotic cell division, okay? Not really 2 plus 2, okay? So that's question 11. For question 13, it's quite interesting question. Okay, so in this case, for the table, you know that the diploid number of the chromosome number of the zebras and the donkey, okay, 44 and 62. Okay, and then okay, while the male zebra and the female donkey, okay, they breed, they mate with each other. Okay, subbronchi, okay, the subbronchi will be produced. Okay, so in this question, okay, for part A, what's the diploid number, okay, of the subbronchi? Okay, so for this part, okay, I would like to tell me that, okay, what is the chromosome number in the zebras and the donkey gamete, or the sperm and the egg. Okay, the hint is that the gamete, they are haploid, that means 1N, and in this table, okay, it gave you the diploid chromosome number is 2N or 44, 2N or 62. So what is the number of chromosome for 1N gamete? Okay, you must be able to tell me. And then for the sexual reproduction involves fertilization, fusion of gamete, okay, and the haploid gamete, okay, they will fuse together to form the 2N zygote. Okay, that's the cell produced after the fertilization. Okay, we call it zygote. Okay, so the point is that what is the diploid number of the chromosome of the subbronchi? So first of all, tell me the haploid number of the gamete, okay, of them, and then add them together, 1N plus 1N. Okay, and then you will know the diploid chromosome number of the subbronchi. And then for the part B, okay, suggest why a subbronchi is unable to produce the offspring. Okay, so in this case, before we talk about the question, okay, I would like to show you the picture of the subbronchi. Okay, they are quite funny. Okay, the pattern. Okay, one part you can see, oh, it's a zebra. Oh, but this part, okay, is not. Okay, and then you can see the big ear. Okay, the big ears of the donkey. Okay, the very significant feature of them. So for that question, okay, we go back. So I would like you to recall the genetic composition of the zebras and the donkey gamete. Okay, so now we call it 1N. Now, both of them are 1N, but there is something different. Okay, and you can check the haploid number of the chromosome. Okay, because the diploid number of chromosome, they are different. Okay, 2N, they are different, and then 1N, they must be also different. Okay, so and then we call the significant step in meiosis. What happened in the metaphase 1? What is the chromosome behavior in metaphase 1? So after that, any difficulties for this chromosome behavior? Okay, so for the subbronchi, okay, they have the chromosome, okay, and then they would like to produce their own gamete, okay, for the fertilization, okay, to have their own offspring, okay, the subbronchi, their own offspring. But the point is that, okay, can they produce the normal gamete? Okay, can they produce the normal gamete? So we call the process in metaphase 1, and then you will know something. So apart from the subbronchi, okay, we have another part, another type of cross species breeding. Okay, so the cross breeding, the male lion and the female tiger. Okay, and then we have liger. Okay, so for the male tiger and then the female lion. Okay, and then we have lion. Okay, so they look like tiger, at the same time, they look like a lion. Okay, so we go back to the part B. Okay, I give you the structure, I give you the framework, okay, of the question part B. Okay, each of the gamete producing cells of the subbronchi contains how many sets? Okay, how many different sets of chromosomes? So this makes the pairing of what kind of chromosome impossible. So that's why I want you to recall the chromosome behavior in metaphase 1. Okay, and the last part, therefore, the subbronchi cannot produce normal gamete for reproduction. Okay, so hope this framework can help you to answer question 13 part B. So for the last question, question 15, we have different type of question. Okay, so in this part we need to study the graph. Okay, and in this graph actually it tells us, okay, the mean distance between the sister chromatid, okay, from the y-axis, okay, and x-axis will be the time. Okay, so we can see that during the cell cycle, okay, what is the change, okay, of the mean distance between the sister chromatid. But the point is that I would like to tell you why there will be distance, okay, between the sister chromatid, because they are separate from each other. So you know that, okay, this is a chromosome, the duplicated chromosome, right? Okay, just before the cell division, the cell, they need to replicate the DNA or duplicate the chromosome to make it double. Okay, so after that, at a particular phase, okay, of the nuclear division, you tell me what is the phase. Okay, so the sister chromatid, they are separate from each other, and then you will have the distance between the sister chromatids. Okay, so once the sister chromatid, they are separate, okay, and then you will get some data, okay, from 0, separate a little bit, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. Okay, so the point is that which phase will start at this point. Okay, and then at this green circle, you can see that the sister chromatid, they really move away from each other to the opposite pole of the cell. Okay, to the opposite pole of the cell. So what is this phase? End. So you need to think about the separation of chromatid occurs and which phase of the nuclear division. Okay, and luckily when you see when you read the question part A, you will know that, oh, it is Anaphase. Okay, because at Anaphase, the chromosome or the chromatid, they will be separate from each other to the opposite pole of the cell, right? So we call the chromosome behavior at Anaphase. Okay, it can help you to determine what is the time, okay, for the Anaphase to start. And then for part A2, okay, any data can tell you that, oh, the chromosome or the chromatid, they are being separated. Okay, so tell me the data from the graph. Okay, not by your knowledge, not from the textbook, but from the graph. And then part B, we call the whole cell cycle. Okay, and think about why cannot the investigator to observe the chromatid. So the point is that they cannot obtain any measurement between 0 and 60 minutes. Okay, so what is the cell doing? Okay, apart from the anaphase, before that, okay, what is the cell doing? Okay, from 0 to 60 minutes. And for the last part, part C is quite simple. Okay, summarize the gamete formation and fertilization. Okay, for the cells in testis and the cell in ovary, 2N after meiotic cell division become 1N, and after fertilization, okay, what N? Okay, you must be able to tell me 1N plus 1N. Okay, what is the N? And then name the cell P. I told you before in the previous slide. Okay, you go back maybe 2 to 3 minutes ago. Okay, you will know the answer. Okay, and then the second part is that meiosis can halve the chromosome number. Explain why it is very important. Okay, so you can see that why do we not use the cell in testis and cell in ovary to produce our offspring after fertilization, but the gamete 1N plus 1N. Okay, so I think it's useful for you, okay, to deal with the long questions in cell cycle and cell division. You need to think about the sequence, okay, and the chromosome behavior, okay, in the nuclear division and the cell cycle. Okay, bye bye.